Hello, friends, and welcome to a special series of the Doing What Matters podcast. I'm your co-host, Erica Vinson, and I'm thrilled to have you join us. While Teresa is on sabbatical until January of 2025, we have created a series of some of the best episodes from the past few years. These episodes are some of our favorite conversations, exploring the themes of life, business, and the essential elements that truly matter. Teresa and I will be back with new episodes and guests in the new year. Let's dive into the best of the Doing What Matters podcast.
Hello, everyone. My name is Teresa McCloy, and welcome to episode number 105 of the Real Life Process podcast. It is especially good to be speaking with you this week as we are just a few days ahead of the Christmas season, one of my absolute favorite times of year. But over the past 20 days or so, I have learned several things about myself and also learned some new things that I want to share with you today on the podcast. Many of you may follow me on social media, especially on Facebook, and you see my daily posts of ordinary to extraordinary moments. Every day I post a picture and a comment on my Facebook page to track these extraordinary moments that I'm having in life and learning to really look for the extraordinary and sometimes very ordinary or very difficult days. And so you may know from those posts, if you follow me there in social media, that I did end up testing positive for COVID back around the first part of December. And had known several people that had COVID, but once I developed COVID, it really wasn't the COVID that became the problem. It actually moved into pneumonia. I think I may have had pneumonia one other time in my life, but it really just drug on and drug on. I have spent most of December dealing with being sicker than I've probably ever been in my life. It's very difficult for me to really lean into being put down from my physical health. It has given me a lot of time to do some reflection, learning, and to really lean into these three gifts. That's what I wanted to talk about today on the podcast. As a type 3 on the Enneagram here at the Real Life Process, we love the tool, the Enneagram. We use it as a foundational piece in the work we do. As a type 3, I noticed my resistance to slowing down and being able to take care of myself. Interestingly, one of my projects in the last 6 months is working on my health. I've lost 15 pounds in the last 6 months, which I'm extremely proud of. I've been working with a health coach. Mentally, I'm in a good place most of the time, and emotionally, I'm in a good place, but my body was still the one I was struggling with. I'll be turning 60 next year, so I've been leaning into healthcare. And I'm so thankful that I did. I'm still in that process as pneumonia takes a while to get over. But I wanted to share with you three things that have been a gift or some disciplines that I want to continue to carry forward as I go through this next couple of weeks. Maybe these are gifts that I just want to offer as reminders because I've had to be reminded in the past 20 days or so, just to lean in and being so grateful and so thankful for my health, for the ability to move through COVID and pneumonia. Let's look at these three gifts. The first one is the gift of slowing. And I love Adele Calhoun's book, The Spiritual Disciplines Handbook. Some of these definitions are from her book. The gift of slowing is curbing my attention to busyness, hurry, and workaholism, and learning to savor the moments. Recognizing in the day the extraordinary moment, even when I wasn't feeling well. It was reminding me how much margin I need to put in my life. If you listen to episode 103, I talked about choosing my word for the year, which is prune. learning to prune, learning what do I want to really have as a margin in my life. So you might ask yourself the question, how much margin do you really need? Last week, I made some decision to even put some buffer time in between coaching calls so that I'm not back to back. My team was putting together places that facilitators could book in, that clients could book in, and that I needed buffer time, even if that meant I needed to open up more days in my calendar. Being as sick as I was showed me how a day could be spent much slower than I feel a day needs to be. It felt different some days not to come to the office at all. I had 2 complete weeks where I didn't come to the office, and how different it felt to pull back and slow down that much. So that's the first gift that these past few weeks has taught me that I want to offer to you is how can you take that gift of slowing and add in some more margin. The second gift is the gift of community. And Adele's definition of this is to express and reflect and receive the self-donating love of God by investing and journeying with others. That gift of community. During the last 3 weeks, I've had to really lean into, and maybe it's something that you want to work on in 2021, asking for help. Having community around you is one thing, but really being able to ask for help and say, could you do this for me? I was so sick that I really needed, whether it be asking my husband or my daughter or people on my team to help me out. And some just outpouring of love by food that was sent and gifts, calls, and texts really reminded me of the value of community, the value of having deep friendships and circles of trust. It reminded me of how I want to do that for others. I don't want to be so busy that I can't take time to do those things for other people. One of the neatest things, and it's such an easy thing to do now that I think about it, and I've had it done for me a couple of times, is I've had people from across the country that actually ordered me a meal and had it delivered to my house. And that was just so thoughtful and easy to do, to care for someone, to show them that you care about them and that you love them and that you're thinking of them, just to find their favorite restaurant and have food delivered. So that was done in love of community. A reminder to me of allowing the time to live into the gift of community and caring for others and allowing others to care for me as well. The third gift is the gift of gratitude. The definition that Adele gives is to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit's prompting and live with a grateful heart, recognizing God's work in your life and abundant resources. And that is something that, as I came into being sick, knowing that the resources we had set up within our structure were able to carry the business for 3 weeks while I wasn't at my best. I was so grateful for that. Grateful for the work that we've done to create good systems and processes that we could actually continue on and carry on our business. And it's something I wanted to build on in 2021 and be grateful for that, to live with a heart of gratitude as I've been blessed in our business in 2020 and continue to be building on that in 2021 with great relationships, great community, all of those things. So 3 gifts that I've learned in the past 3 weeks are the gift of slowing, the gift of community, and the gift of gratitude, and being grateful for the simple things. In something as simple as the lesson that I've learned about my health and the importance of it, being mindful of that head, heart, gut connection, IQ, EQ, GQ piece that God has put together within us, those 3 centers, heart, mind, and soul, and being mindful to all 3 of these. So as you move forward into 2021 and you're thinking about what are the things that matter to you, think within those 3 centers of intelligence. Where am I growing my heart this year? Where am I growing my mind this year? Where am I leaning into the physical being that I live within this year? We do a lot of goal setting and project management for our business, but we also want to do it from a personal standpoint as well. I challenge you as you're moving through these next couple of weeks to look through that lens as well. I'm so grateful that I began doing that several months ago. Even though it's taken a good 3 weeks or more, I still have some healing to do. Because I was mindful of that, I know that I'm bouncing back quicker and stronger. Just a reminder of 3 gifts that you can give yourself as you look to slowing, as you look to community, as you look to gratitude, as you close out 2020. As we close out this podcast episode, I know for many of you, there's been illness, there's been loss of loved ones. There has been so much difficulty in 2020 as we hold the learnings that we take from this past year, as we hold the growth that it's brought us to, but also the grief and the sorrows and the losses. I know how difficult holiday seasons can be for those that have lost family members, those that have lost loved ones. We walk with that ourselves as we lost our son 3 years ago. The Christmas season, any holiday is always a difficult time of remembrance, but love the Christmas season and celebrating what God has brought to us in the gift of his son. I pray for you and your family as you walk through and into these next few days of Christmas with anticipation and joy. Do remember that every ordinary day does have extraordinary moments. We just have to look for them. Merry Christmas, everyone, and we will be back next week.